Hello, we're back.
We're up.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
We're here and we're ready to go into the underground kingdom. And just like our podcast artwork, we're writing a mammoth, but in the book we're doing today, we're writing a giant bird.
You know what? We said keep the mammoth at home. We last time we jumped off a cliff with that thing. I don't want to do that again. Speaking of which, like you just invoked the imagery of us riding off a cliff, which is in our logo. If anybody's watching up in the upper left-hand corner there, you can get a sticker of that amazing fun image. And over the holiday, as a fun little thank you to listeners, all you got to say is that you want a sticker in the comments, and I'll get you one. So either we can send it to you or get it to you at a common place here in town or drop it off at like a comic book shop, something. Even mail it to you. What the heck? But just you got to say, hey, man, I want a sticker in the comments.
Poof. And like Santa Claus, Eddie will show up in your chimney and hand you a sticker.
I'll show up. I'll come down your chimney. I'll kick open your front door. I'll
eat
do
your
all sorts of
cookies and
stuff.
drink your milk.
I'll drink your cookies and eat your milk. Get out of there. I've seen this trend, and I don't think it's very funny. Where, I mean, at first glance it's funny, but then you think about it, and you're like, this isn't very nice. Where people will dress up like the Grinch and kick open their own front door, and their children will start freaking out, and they start grabbing presents and stealing them. Look at you laugh. You're laughing your head off.
That'd be awesome.
You've thought about this.
Yeah.
I think one parent
I wouldn't do that, but
yeah,
exactly. I can see people that would do that. That'd be actually kind of funny. But
I think they warned their kids one time, if you keep misbehaving, we're going to call the Grinch. He's going to come take the presents away. And the kids were just like doing their thing. And sure enough, the front door opens up and the Grinch comes in and he just goes and just starts like taking gifts.
Taking their presents. And they're like, Mom.
They're freaking out. They're like, no. Anyway.
I told you.
I think
hey, speaking of our logo, what we need to do is get like those walls that you see where you can put your heads through. So where our faces are on the mammoth, people can put their faces in. That'd be fun.
There you go. You too can meet your grisly demise while riding a mammoth off a cliff. Yeah. That'd be great. Have those little carnival stand-ups instead of a buff dude and a pretty lady. You're just Eddie and Lee flying off
Lee on a mammoth jumping over a cliff. We can even get little vinyls like we've always talked about in our past episodes where we're eating a Dagwood sandwich or maybe our bicycles with all sorts of things.
Exactly.
Like on there.
Like you got giant muscles and I'm sitting on your shoulders and you're like
holding a Dagwood sandwich in one hand and an attaché case in the other.
A microphone in the other. What I notice about this epic cover art on this again.
Yes.
Always trippy, always kind of like out there. The sun is black.
Yeah. Yes. And maybe it explains it in the book, but it talks about the black sun. It's like, well, if it's black, how does it emit light?
Right.
I guess
like you're getting only X-rays.
Only Edward Packard knows.
He's like, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to do some weird art after I smoke all this weed. And then I'm going to draw this book.
That's right. Well, if you're new to the podcast, thank you for listening. We should do that right off the top.
Yes.
But what we do is we go through these old Choose Your Own Adventure books from the 80s. We go through them. And when we get to a decision point, we want you to hop in the chat on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch and type in the chat what you want us to do. And then we'll go through another book and we'll go through it as a new book, but the old book we'll go through twice, not once, but twice.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. You don't want to do these things once. You read these things with your kids like 20 times.
When you slip on a banana peel and fall down the stairs and break your neck and die in this book, you don't want to go out that way. So we give you a second chance at Choose Your Own Adventure Redemption. Today on while I was kind of working and just listening to different videos on YouTube, I came across one that was a in-depth plot and analysis of the movie Live, Die, Repeat.
Oh, I don't know
with
that one.
Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Where he basically is caught in a time loop, and if he dies, he ends up getting rebooted 24 hours later, like a
Oh,
save point in a video game almost.
okay.
And it's
Interesting.
much like Choose Your Own Adventure, because then he remembers everything that he did up until the point of getting killed in that life. So he'll like try something different. And I'm like, this is Choose Your Own Adventure, is all this is.
That's all right. Wish our life was Choose Your Own Adventure. You just put your thumb on the spot. If you screw up, you just go back and do it all over again.
The only problem with that is we'd have to die.
That's true. Like
You're like,
Groundhog
well,
Day.
Exactly. It's like, well, I messed up. Toaster in the bathtub.
Yeah, toaster in the bathtub.
But luckily on this, we don't have to do that. All you have to do is tune in Monday nights at 8:30.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
You can help us meet our demise.
Yes. Don't throw
This
the
is the You
toaster in.
Choose. This isn't the
Right.
Lee Choose or the Eddie Choose podcast. This is You Decide.
Right. Do you want to crack this one off, sir, or shall I?
Sure. I'll go ahead and get started on this one.
All right.
So, like I said, chime in on the chat when we get to decision point. This is Underground Kingdom number 18, written by Edward Packard, the man who invented the Choose Your Own Adventure series himself, 1983.
Literally the father of Choose Your Own Adventure.
Literally, yes. All right. Let's see if we can get to the...
Like any good book, it's got itself a map. You got that up?
Yes. Yep, I got the map up. So for those of you listening later, it's just the picture of the Earth, but the internal of the Earth is an entire kingdom with a black sun at the center. I don't know how that works, but I guess you just have to roll with the fantasy here.
Listen, we got to have a sun. I don't want it to be the same color. It's going to be a black sun. We're going to roll.
True.
On this map, if you look at it, Greenland is right next door to New York City. Nothing makes sense.
No,
just go with it.
The crust and the mantle of the Earth is 1,800 miles thick, and it's got different cities like Moscow, Mount Everest, Tokyo, Pacific Ocean, all on the outside. But we're not going to stick on the outside. We're going on the inside. We're not messing around.
Last time we didn't even get that far.
Yeah, exactly. Last time we didn't get very far. So I'll put a link in the show notes for the previous episode. You can quickly listen to our very quick demise. So, all right, without further ado, you're standing on the Toan Glacier in northern Greenland. Staring down. Oh, every time I hear Greenland, I think of the Princess Bride. You want to be unemployed in Greenland?
In Greenland.
Sicilian. You got to say that with a Sicilian accent.
The Sicilian. No one beat the Sicilian.
Anyway, staring down into the black void of the crevasse. Ooh, we need our crevasse counter because.
Ooh, you keep going. That's a 1 count. I'll get it fired up.
That's a 1 count. You shiver as you wonder whether you were lucky or unlucky to be invited on this expedition. Standing next to you are Gunnar Larson of the National Research Institute and Dr. James Sneed, a geologist. A small black box containing a signal transmitter is suspended over the crevasse, number 2, by 2 long poles. The transmitter is wired to a console a few yards away in the ice. Dr. Sneed turns a dial as he monitors the display screen. Well, Larson's voice is impatient. Sneed looks up, a broad smile on his face. This is it, friends, the bottomless crevasse. Any radar return? Larson asks. Sneed shakes his head. None. For a minute, no one speaks. Like you, the others must feel excited to have reached their goal, but also a little sad. It was just a year ago that your friend, Dr. Nira Vivaldi, radioed from the spot that she had reached the bottomless crevasse. A few moments later, her radio went dead. She was never seen again. Now you stand at the edge, lost in thought. How could the crevasse have no bottom? Could it really lead to an underground kingdom? What happened to Dr. Vivaldi? But your thoughts are shattered, not disrupted or interrupted, shattered.
Much like the fragile glass of a carnival. Shattered.
Shattered in a million pieces.
Much like, much like our hopes and dreams for a good 2020.
Shattered. Yeah, exactly. Shattered. You didn't seem to slip, yet suddenly you're falling into the crevasse.
God.
A ledge is coming up fast beneath you. You could land on it, but you're falling so fast, you're surely to be badly injured. You might only be saving yourself for a slow, agonizing death.
Yeah.
These thoughts race through your head in a split second. So here's where you come in.
Nope.
If you try to land on the ledge, turn to page 5. If not, go to the next page. So last time we did this, we went to page 5. So
and had a very short quest.
yeah, we did. So hang in there if you're watching. We'll get to a decision here in a minute. We're going to the next page here. Eddie, what's our crevasse count up to?
Currently, right now, everyone, in case you're wondering, I'm going to share this with everyone shortly. Here we go. We are currently on the crevasse counter at a solid 6.
6. Wow.
6,
and really 2
though.
pages in.
6, and we have yet to actually, get into the cave or the crevasse, if you will.
The crevasse.
Yeah.
All right. So page 3.
Is this where I'm going, sir?
This is you. Yep.
Your consciousness. We got Paul Sweeney landing on a ledge never killed anyone. I mean, it didn't.
It didn't last
certainly
time.
Shortened our journey. Your consciousness slips away, as consciousness tends to do.
Yes.
As you fall faster down, down, down. The next thing you know, you're floating in air. In the soft reddish glow, you can see that you are in a cavern, drifting toward the ceiling. Or is it the floor? In a flash, you realize what has happened. You've fallen to a point where gravity above you is almost equal to gravity beneath you. I love how we just figured it out. We're just like, science!
We figured it out. We're 9.
We're 9. You brush against a firm surface, a wall that feels like clay. You cling to it for a moment. Then you're floating again, drifting slowly down. You begin to lose your fear as you realize that gravity here is so weak that you can fall mile after mile without being hurt. After a while, you begin to relax and enjoy drifting through a fantastic twilight world. You only wish it weren't so hot. Closing your eyes, you try to pretend that you are safely home in bed. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Try it. Just leaving your body.
Yeah. Just settle down, sit back and relax.
Exactly.
All right. Page.
Once again, you brush your arm against a firm surface. This time, it's the floor of the cavern. In fact, you have touched down on the mossy bank of an underground stream. You drink from the cool, clear water, then step out of the cavern into this strange world. The only illumination is a dim, red-orange glow that seems to come from the ground. The air is so clear that you can see shadowy, curving hills and valleys stretching out in all directions, even above you. Why do you feel so good? See how used we are to feeling bad?
I know.
We're so used to feeling like crud. We're like, what's this weird feeling I got? Oh, yeah, I feel good.
It's positivity.
It's happiness. What? It must be because you are so light. You could hardly weigh more than 10 or 15 pounds. You spring to, your joints are going to get real wobbly real quick, kids.
No, yeah, exactly.
Them rubber legs.
Rubber legs.
You spring to your feet. Every movement is easy. You jump 20 or 30 feet high and float gently to the ground. Then you realize that you are not alone. Only a few yards away is an odd creature, as big as you are. It seems to be some kind of bird, yet much more than a bird. Under a crown of soft golden feathers are enormous blue eyes, so vivid and intense that they seem to be not only a means of vision, but also a means of power.
With a P.
There is something terrifying about that face. That's what my girlfriend Jill thought when she first saw me, when she first met me.
There's something terrifying about that face.
Terrifying. But also something angelic. Something else.
There you go.
Something that draws you to it. In fact, you feel as if you are being hypnotized by those eyes. Eyes of an angel bird.
Ooh.
If you run from the strange creature, if you run from the angel bird, turn to page 15. If you hold your ground and face it, turn to page 10. To run from the angel bird or to face the angel bird? That is the eternal question.
Hypnotized by those eyes.
Fun behind the scenes, you choose trivia. Face the Angel Bird was the title track of Lee Searcy's heavy metal album when he got out of high school.
Yes. Yeah. Face Off with the Glorious Chicken.
Yes, Paul. He's like, embrace the face.
Come at it with a bib, a fork, and some barbecue sauce.
He's like, I got some mashed potatoes and coleslaw. All I'm missing is the chicken. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Get your inner Colonel Sanders on.
He puts on his little weird black bow tie that looks like a little cheap ribbon.
Yes.
Dude, buy a real tie, bro.
Yeah. All right. So that's page 15. We'll go to page 15. Okay.
By the way,
from the angel bird.
This is the angel bird.
Yeah. Or it's on the cover, but the black and white one really
that
really doesn't.
Not so good.
No. You run from the angel bird up a hill that gets steeper and steeper. In the light gravity of the underworld, you can run faster than a deer, even up this mountain. 20, 30, 40 feet at a bound. You feel even lighter than you did before. You try to leap only a few feet in the air, but you find yourself floating. There's no way you can get down. You are entombed between the ground above and the ground below.
Ooh.
You close your eyes. Then instead of feeling warm, you feel cold. Instead of feeling light, you feel heavy.
No.
Instead of floating, you're lying on a hard, cold surface. Okay. Opening your eyes, you see ice walls rising above you. Now you understand. When you fell into the crevasse, you landed on this ledge about 30 feet below the surface. You must have hit your head on the ice. What a strange dream you've had. It seems so real, as if the angel bird put the dream in your head. But there are other things to think of right now. Help, you shout. No one answers. Larson and Sneed have probably given you up for lost. Turn to page 12. You look along the ledge. It curves up toward the surface, but it also becomes narrower. You try to gauge how close to the surface you could get without losing your footing. By cutting a couple of handholds in the ice with your pocket knife, you could make it to the top if you don't lose your grip. All right, here we go. Oop. If you try to make it, If you just try to make it, turn to page 18. If you decide to wait, turn to page 20. I thought for a second there the other option was if you decide to give up, just lay there and die.
Surrender to the sweet embrace of death.
Death, yes.
I don't know about that.
So if you try to make it, turn to page 18. If you decide to just wait, turn to page 20. Now, in typical 80s fashion, Eddie, guess what we had with us?
We had a knife, bro.
We had a pocket knife. Yep.
In 80s like lore, you always had a flashlight.
Yep.
A pocket knife. And maybe one other item. What would that be, Lee?
You probably had a microscope at home,
an
attaché case to put all this stuff in, probably a tape recorder.
Yep.
A pin light.
Always a rope. You have a rope for sure.
Rope. Yep, rope. Instead of a flat. In addition to the flashlight, you had a pin light, probably a couple pins and a calculator. I mean, that kind of as a housewarming gift when you bring the baby home from the hospital, they give you an attaché case full of this stuff.
Here's the baby's pocket knife and pen light. He'll need that on his adventures.
Yeah, in a year.
We should do that, Lee. I mean, we're too old now with our kids, but if and when we have grandkids, we got to give our children their gifts. Like, this is for the baby when the baby has adventures.
Yes, I'm doing it. Maybe like for their Christmas present. Even now, you should just give it to them. I'm sorry I didn't give this to you about 20 years ago. I'm sorry. This is why
I blame myself.
Yeah, I apologize. You should have had this.
He's saying,
Paul
climb
says,
that cliff.
Climb that was it Cliffhanger? Sylvester Stallone movie.
I get it.
All right,
and I support it.
18 is that
you
one.
You inch your way along the edge, keeping your body flat against the wall of the crevasse. Here we go.
Oh, wow, another one.
About time. Did I miss one on the last reading? No, I didn't say crevasse last time.
I said 1, so we should be up to 8, I think.
We are sitting at a solid 8 on the crevasse counter.
Sweet.
You should be able to make it as long as you don't panic. You try not to look down. After almost an hour of slow progress, you're able to raise a hand over the rim, but you still can't pull yourself up. You hack away at the ice, gouging out another handhold, then another foothold. It seems like the hours before you can take even one step higher. Then, with one great effort, you heave yourself over the edge, then twist and roll away from the deadly opening. Stiff and shaky, you manage to stand, which was our vaudeville name, our duo.
Stiff and Shaky, our comedy duo.
Our comedy duo, Stiff and Shaky, coming at you. Vaudeville. The sun has set behind the western mountains, and you begin to shiver in the chill wind. You're thankful that this part of Greenland, it never grows cold. It grows dark in July, but it does grow cold, well below freezing, and you're too exhausted to run and jump to warm yourself. Turn to page 21. There is no shelter from the relentless wind and no sign of Larson or Sneed. It's getting hard to breathe. You soon begin to feel the dull aches, stiffness, and sick feeling you've read about, the dread symptoms of hypothermia.
We're 9 and we read about hypothermia.
You are freezing to death. Maybe a search helicopter will arrive any moment, maybe in a few hours, maybe never. You are very tired. You desperately need rest. Okay, here we go. If you huddle in your parka and try to conserve your strength, turn to page 32. If you force yourself to keep walking, turn to page 25. This is all because we decided to face the bird.
I know. Who was probably a dream now that they're telling us.
Bird fever dream.
Yeah. You know what the ironic about this? In past adventures, we usually leave someone for dead. Now we've been left for dead.
We are the one who it only happened so many times before it came back to bite us in the butt.
Karma.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Death March
never killed anybody. Paul.
That's great. That's amazing. Oh God, the Death March. Just keep
Death
walking.
March it is. Page 25.
Oh, I got my senses tingling.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
I'm nervous.
You force yourself to keep walking. If you wander too far from the crevasse, all right, another one.
Yeah.
A search team might miss you, so you walk in a large square, 50 paces north, 50 east, 50 south, 50 west, 50 north again and again. Your legs feel like lead. Your eyes are half shut. You hardly notice when the weak Arctic sun reappears. The sun. You can't think. Dizzy. You can't stand. It seems like another world when you wake up in a room with pale green walls and gleaming tile floors. Your head is swimming. What happened to Larson and Sneed? You feel as if you've lived through a nightmare. You're lucky we were able to save your leg. A tall, bearded doctor is speaking. You'll be okay. Then a voice trails off as he tells you that your friends Gunnar Larson and Dr. Sneed have joined Dr. Vivaldi, all lost forever. Larson? Sneed? You keep mumbling their names until finally sleep comes again. By morning, your head is cleared. It was a terrible ordeal, but at least you survived. In a few weeks, you'll be home for good, because nothing could ever persuade you to go near the bottomless crevasse.
Oh, we beat the nerd counter.
I know. 3 months have passed. You return home one late afternoon to find a man waiting at your front door. I'm Professor Bruckner from the National Research Institute in Washington. He shakes your hand warmly. Please come in. Are you still studying the bottomless crevasse? Again. Bruckner nods. We've identified the force that may have pulled Larson and Sneed into the crevasse. Would you be willing to go back? Precautions would be taken so there would be no chance of its happening again. You shake your head. I'm afraid not, Professor. I don't think I could go to the place where my friends died.
Their ghosts will be there. Dang it.
Their ghost. Yeah, the ghost of Sneed.
I don't need that.
Smiling, the professor leans toward you. Would it change your mind if I told you that your friends may still be alive? It sounds like this professor has invaded our bubble. I just imagined him leaning close to our ear. Would it change your mind if I told you your friends may still be alive?
Yeah. He said that that far away from your ear.
I'm 9 and you're an old man in my house. I'm a little uncomfortable with this.
Like, I'm nervous.
What? It's true. We've received faint radio signals from a point far beneath the Earth's surface. I believe that one or more of the others may be alive somewhere in the underground kingdom, and we have the means to reach them. Now, will you come? If you say you'll go on the expedition, go to page 28. If you decide it would be too dangerous to go with Bruckner, turn to page 30. Wow, so just like the book, we could start all over again, but the book storyline made us start over again.
Yeah. It's crazy. It might be a little different though. Here we go. And Paul has already, he beat us to the punch. He's like, that's it. Get back in there. Quit being a Todd.
Okay. All right. We don't have time to mess around.
Don't be a Todd.
28.
Professor Bruckner, count me in, you said with your 9 toes, because you lost one in the last time you were there.
Yeah.
Good, he says. This time we'll be far better equipped. NASA has put 2 helicopters at my disposal. Dude, I don't need space shuttles. I need real help here.
I need real help.
One of them will transport our party of scientists and technicians. The other will carry the Verticraft, a rocket-propelled capsule specifically designed for this mission. 3 weeks later, you find yourself staring once again at the bottomless crevasse. You know what they say? They say fat-bottomed crevasse girls help the choose your own adventure world go round.
Go round. There you go.
It looks narrower than when I was here before, you remark. Yes, Bruckner says. The glacier has been advancing about 3 feet a year. It won't be long before the crevasse is completely sealed.
Oh,
God,
no.
dude, we are killing it on the crevasse counter here.
Oh.
While you and the other members of the party stand at a safe distance, the professor cautiously holds an oblong instrument that emits an increasingly rapid clicking.
You skipped one. The professor cautiously walks to the rim
of the crevasse.
We can't skip it.
15 now. Are you serious? Sorry about that.
It's okay.
In one hand, he holds an oblong instrument that emits an increasingly rapid clicking. Don't get too close, you cry. I've been down this before.
Flashbacks.
Indeed, Bruckner takes a few steps back. I think I know what happened to Larson, Sneed, and Vivaldi. What? Gravity waves coming from the center of the Earth have disrupted space-time enough to pull them in. The professor looks down into your puzzled face. And you as well, he adds. I've always suspected that the laws of physics may be different in the vicinity of a black hole. Now we have proof. What does this mean? The professor smiles. It means that the interior of the Earth, beginning about 800 miles deep, is hollow. I love Hollow Earth.
Yes.
Turn to page 75. Still turning. 75. But what does it have to do with the black hole, you ask Bruckner? The professor pauses to fill his pipe. As I explained in my published theory, if you would have frickin' read it, you'd know this. A tiny black hole lodged in the center of the Earth more than 1 billion years ago. I don't know about the science on this one. It pulled the interior of the Earth, everything except for the crust and mantle, into itself, leaving the Earth hollowed out like a Halloween pumpkin. I believe the term is jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern. Excuse me. Thank you very much.
That is what the gravity readings tell us. Then where is the underground kingdom? It is the whole interior surface of the Earth. And if you stood there and looked straight up, you would see the black hole. It would look exactly like our sun, except that it would be jet black. Professor Bruckner lights his pipe, then says, I did not expect to undertake this mission for some months. I only plan to inspect the crevasse.
Again.
We're gonna hit 20 on this. I'm just telling you.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And test the verticraft. But the crevasse, oh my God, dude, find a new word.
Oh.
Is closing rapidly. I must make the descent today. Otherwise, my return path from the crevasse will be, I'm kidding. My return path might be blocked. Who will volunteer to come with me?
Right,
One after another, the team members shake their heads. Finally, Bruckner turns to you. Well, you hesitate. You don't want to risk your life, but this could be the only chance of finding your lost friends. If you decide to go with him, turn to page 35. If you decide not to risk it, turn to page 33.
All right.
It literally is a black hole sun.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I like Paul's comment here. Gotta love getting paid by the crevasse.
The crevasse is like, listen, if you mention my name as much as possible, I will throw in some extra money. Right now,
I forgot to mention this at his last comment. They're not dead. Quit being a Todd.
Yeah.
Paul knows some old jokes on this one.
He's invoking the Dinosaur Island. Don't be a Todd. The crevasse counter is sitting at a solid 17. Let's see if we can't get to 20 tonight and get Paul a free sticker.
We're well on our way. You got to risk it for the biscuit.
You got to risk it for that crunchy crevasse biscuit.
Okay. So that's page
all right.
35.
35, Lee.
Oh, man. Yeah, black hole as a sun. That's a different concept.
It's also a Soundgarden song. Remember that one, Lee?
Oh,
black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come?
Sun.
Won't you come? You don't remember that one?
All right. No.
Lee doesn't listen to metal. He writes metal.
I don't. Yeah, I get paid by the crevasse. Every time I say crevasse, I get paid.
I swear that crevasse, man. I want the kind of bill. Who's that crevasse's agent?
No,
I want that agent.
All right, here we go. You know that your chances of surviving the expedition are slim. Even if you safely descend into the bottomless crevasse, there's no assurance that the verticraft will be able to get you out again. Still, it's your only chance to find your lost friends and to explore a new world. Boy, you know, how come we weren't this ambitious about finding our friends when they were lost?
Yeah, where'd our gumption go last time?
We're just like, yeah, okay.
You know.
That'll be all right. You grit your teeth and climb aboard. The professor climbs in beside you. Ready, he says. I'm going to activate us as soon as we're centered. Ready. You strap yourself in and say a prayer like you feel like a larva inside a cocoon. Looking through the port, you watch the others position the verticraft over the crevasse. You wave at them, and they wave back. Suddenly, you're falling faster and faster, plummeting toward the center of the earth. Has the verticraft gone out of control? Professor Bruckner, you yell. Won't the rockets work? Can't you slow us? We're saving our fuel, he shouts. Gravity will slow us. You'll see. Has he gone mad? You notice a red button on the control panel. Next to it is a sign that reads emergency reverse return to initial position. Turn to page 37. Oh no, we're going to chicken out again, I wonder.
No.
Don't do it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Thanks to the dual control system, it looks as if you have a chance to escape this madness. Still, you can't be sure it will save you. Here we go. If you decide to push the emergency reverse button, turn to page 89. If you try to reason with Dr. Bruckner, turn to page 38. Why are we so wishy-washy? We're like, well, I'm never going to go back. Well, the stranger shows up at my house, so I'm going to go back. Now I'm here. I don't know if I want to go.
We are so eager to bail on this mission. We're like a friend that said, "Yeah, I'll come out and hang out with you," and then as it gets closer, we're like, "I don't want to go.
Never mind. I'm
Do you want to
bored.
even hang out? Yeah. Quit changing your mind, man. Stick with it. Have some integrity. Jeez."
So do we push the button, or do we just try to reason with Dr. Bruckner? Either way, we're trying to get out of this.
According to our friend Paul, tis the season to reason with the doctor.
Season to reason. Okay.
We're going to reason with the doctor.
Page 38. That's you, Eddie.
We're going too fast. Can't we slow down, you call? No, we have hundreds of miles to go. We've got to get through the Earth's mantle fast, or we'll be baked to death, which is another thing that Lee did in high school.
Baked to death.
in his home ec class, all the cookies. Yeah. Bruckner's voice is cool and reassuring. Maybe he knows what he's doing. Now all of a sudden I'm confident again.
Yeah. Again, back and forth.
But every minute the temperature rises. You begin to sweat. Whatever made you think you could survive such a trip? Sipping cold lemonade from a plastic bottle. Where'd that come from?
What?
It's like, ooh, what? Cold lemonade.
Talk about a pivot. Oh, I think I'm about to die. Oh, by the way, I got this lemonade over here.
Some fresh lemonade. You try to close your eyes and relax. Then it seems as if the verticraft is slowing, but you can't be sure. All you know is you got some sweet lemonade you're sipping.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everything is still. The verticraft has come to rest. Looking through a porthole, you see that you have landed inside a large crater. Slowly, you climb out of the verticraft and open the other compartment. Professor Bruckner's face is ashen gray. Oh! You feel for his pulse. Nothing!
Man.
The strain of the descent must have been too much for his heart. Now we're 9-year-old cardiologists.
Yeah. We can measure pulses. We could diagnose heart issues. Wow. We took our correspondence.
Look at that great illustration on the way to the underground world. Look at that.
I know.
A lot of cross-hatching in there, kids. Was that 43? You bury the professor's body. Dang, we had a 9-year-old.
Whoa.
Rough life.
So we already pronounced him dead. We're 9. We're just like, bury this guy.
Yeah. Near the verticraft and say a prayer. Listen, man, I might be in an upside-down world with a dead professor. I might be 9 years old, but I'm not letting God go. I'm not doing that. God may have forsaken me, but I'm not forsaking God.
Eddie, we're letting go and letting God.
Letting go and letting God in the upside down. You feel sad and afraid of setting forth alone in a strange world, but there is no choice. You must search for food and shelter. First, you've got to get out of this crater. There is a tunnel nearby. Peering inside, you see that it leads straight down. Suddenly, you realize that it was through this tunnel that the verticraft traveled. You're looking through the other end of the bottomless crevasse.
Oh! Even in the underground kingdom, we could still say crevasse.
Ding, 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 ding. We have officially hit 20 crevasses.
And we're not done yet.
We're not done yet, kids. Just so you know.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more crevasse. The tunnel doesn't lead straight down, but straight up to the surface of the Earth. So Professor Bruckner was right. The Earth is like a hollowed out pumpkin. Jack-o'-lantern, you heathens.
Jack-o'-lantern.
And you're standing on its inner shell. Your feet must be held to the ground by the gravity of the shell itself. You look around at the walls of the crater. They are too steep to climb, but you feel so light as if you were walking on the moon. You might be able to jump out. You stand there a minute, wondering why the pull of gravity here isn't as strong as it is on the Earth's surface. He done told you it's a black hole.
Yes, come on.
Then you remember the rest of Bruckner's theory. There's a black hole at the center of the Earth. There we go.
There we go.
Pulling you toward it. You leap as high as you can, 20 feet in the air. Then with one great bound, you're out, standing on the surface of the underground kingdom.
Ooh.
Turn to page 40. The scene around you reminds you of a photograph negative. All the shades and colors seem reversed. The ground is grayish pink clay with white outcroppings. In the distance, you can see areas that glow like beds of hot coals. Nearby is a forest of trees with green trunks and white leaves. The trees are short, yet their branches, taking advantage of the light gravity, spread out for hundreds of feet in all directions. You climb a small hill to get a better view. Wherever you look, the land curves upward, as if you were standing in the bottom of an enormous bowl. The sky is covered with what looks like reddish yellow clouds. Most amazing of all is the sight directly overhead. A disk almost as the size of the sun, but instead of shining brightly, it is absolutely black. You can feel its coolness, as if it were drawing heat from your skin. It's the black hole at the center of the earth. You turn sharply at the sound of chattering. Coming up the ravine are more than a dozen creatures, smaller than you, yet walking upright on two legs. Half human, half ape, they look like creatures that might have once lived on the earth's surface. They are carrying ropes and nets. Hey, they're 80s kids.
Oh yeah, they got nets and ropes.
Nets and ropes. You could probably climb a nearby tree, yeah, and hide among the clusters of giant leaves. But is it wise to run like a frightened animal? Maybe things will go better for you if you bravely face the inhabitants of this world. All right, finally, here's a choice. If you decide to face the creatures, turn to page 42. If you decide to hide in a cluster leaf tree, turn to page 46.
All right. I like how Paul says that the pocket knife that we had must have had a deluxe edition with a fold-out shovel to bury the doctor. Oh.
He's like, I'm no dummy. I used my lemonade glass to dig his grave.
Yes. As I was drinking my lemonade while I was digging his grave.
I worked up a lemonade thirst.
Face the creatures. Become their king.
Yes! I like how Paul thinks. Paul's into
Conquer this world.
I am your God.
What is best in life? Crush your enemy.
See them driven before you. And hear the lamentation of the women.
The women. All right. You step forward to meet the strange procession. The underworld creatures form a circle around you, cackling and gesturing to each other. You smile and hold out your arms. Hello. You begin, but the creatures raise their nets and close in on you. One of them barks an order. They motion for you to follow them. You don't have much choice. Despite their small size, they move rapidly through the thick woods. Occasionally, they freeze, and you hear them whispering, Kota ib saben kota. You march a mile or so through the groves of trees. It's as hot as you've ever known it, and you feel as if you're going to faint. But finally, you reach an open land. Instantly, you feel cooler. The black sun is drawing heat from your body. Soon, you'll reach a village of igloo-shaped structures that look as if they're made of green clay. One of your captors leads you to the nearest one. Ibagon, he says, as he takes you inside. Turn to page 44. The interior of the Agon, as it seems to be called, is lit by glowing stones circling the inner wall. In the center is a small foundation. Clear water bubbles forth and flows along a silver trough before disappearing underground. The floor is soft and spongy like a bed of moss. The leader steps forward. Ket, he says, pointing to himself. Ket Raka, pointing to the others, he says. Akim Raka, Tor Raka. You repeat each name, then pointing to yourself, tell them your name. The Rakas laugh as they try to pronounce the strange sound. Tor seems younger than the others and brings you something that looks like cheese but tastes like honey. Ket gives you a small pink fruit. Ib Tanga, he says, smiling. Tanga is delicious, and you're eating a second one when a large blue-furred Raka rushes into the Agon. Pointing at you, he speaks excitedly in his own tongue. Tor begins to argue with him. The others join in. Narg Migkala. The blue-furred Raka says loudly, it's clear he wants you to come with him. It seems likely that he represents the chief or the leader. Ket and Akim gesture as if you should obey. But Tor shakes his head, warning you not to go. All right. If you follow the blue-furred Raka, turn to page 48. If you refuse, turn to page 50. Man, this one just keeps going.
We are in it, man.
I'm kind of surprised.
This.
I thought at the beginning, we got knocked out. It was all a dream. We're done. And now we're right back into the thick of it.
I mean, this might be the longest, I think. There was one other book. We stayed strapped in a long time.
Yeah. Well, Dinosaur Island, by far.
That was a long one, yeah.
Yes. Refuse. Make the leader come to us.
That's right. I'm your king now.
I don't go. You come to me. All right.
I already came to you. I came 800,000 miles. You can come too.
Yeah, you can walk 2 feet or 2 miles.
Page 50.
Page 50.
You shake your head and stand your ground. The blue-furred Raka glares at you and strides from the Aegon. He returns a few moments later with 2 other Rakas, each holding ropes and a net. I won't be taken captive like some animal, you shout. A Raka tries to rope you, but you duck out of reach. They draw closer like a football quarterback. You spin and dart past them because you are the quarterback of your own game.
Yeah, I was number 1 in my backyard football league.
Number 1. Kayla, Zoark, the Rakas yell, but you're already out of the Aegon, running across the dimly lit land. Helped by the light gravity, you quickly reach a grove of cluster leaf trees, and you keep running, on and on. At last, you reach the open countryside. In the soft reddish-gray light, you can see the great river just ahead. You stop to rest beside its waters. Turn to page 53. We are on an adventure.
We are.
Once you've caught your breath, you walk along the riverbank and soon reach a crude wooden dock. 2 Rakas are guarding their hunting boat, a long flat-bottomed shell fashioned from cluster leaf wood. Nearby is a smaller boat. One you could paddle yourself. You just might be able to untie it, push off, and get across the river before the guards catch you. If you try to take the small boat and make a break for the other side, turn to page 57. If you try to bluff the guards into thinking you have permission to use it, turn to page 58.
Using our bluffing skills, I think.
Better to ask forgiveness than permission. That's what I say.
That's right. That's right. So in your studies on the Paranormal Dads podcast, you talked about the hollow earth theory.
Yes.
I think, if I remember correctly, there were creatures that lived down there, humanoid creatures, I think, theorized anyway.
Yes. Per
Chaka.
the story of Admiral Byrd. Oh, we're going on about Chaka.
Yeah.
Chaka want berries.
That's right.
Chaka love holly. You're like, Chaka, take that boat.
Paul says, take that boat. So take the boat, make a break for the other side. Turn to page 57. Quickly reach the boat, but you can't untie the rope. Instantly, the Rakas are upon you. Uttering angry cries, they fling their nets over you. One of them blindfolds you. Then they march you along the winding, bumpy path. Where are you taking me, you ask? But the Rakas ignore you. Muttering angrily in their own tongue, death seems certain. How will they execute you? They seem to like ropes. Maybe they will hang you. I love our deduction here.
They're pretty rope friendly.
Yeah. As you march on, hour after hour, their air turns colder. You feel your strength ebbing. Finally, the Rakas stop. Exhausted, you crumple to the ground. All is silent, and you fall into deep sleep. Turn to page 60.
I sense.
Hours later, you awake, stiff and shaking from the cold. Cautiously, you pull off your blindfold. Your captors are gone. All around you is dark brown clay. There are no trees, no water, no shelter from the cold, from the wind that blows across the vast, empty plain. So this is your intended fate. You will be left to die of exposure under the black sun. It's a long trek across the desert of the underground kingdom. But if you can only reach some trees, you may be able to find a warm place to rest. Somehow you know that you'll make it, if you have the will. Do you? The end.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's an ending.
That's an ending. It's just, okay, well, you're going to live forever in the underground kingdom.
I mean, you went down, you left, you came back with your scientist friend. He died. You buried him with your lemonade cup. You meet some crazy underground people. They try to kill you.
And then they just leave you.
And now you live in a underground forest for the rest of your days alone, but happy.
Wow. That's what a weird ending. But hey,
What a
I'll take
weird
it. We didn't
ending.
die.
Hey, we didn't die.
Yeah.
And arguably, we have very little stress because we're just chilling in a place where there's no work, no weather.
And we didn't give up like last time where we're just like, I'm done here.
Maybe I should die.
Maybe I should just die. Yeah.
You look over to the side and see
friends.
A singular rope. Well, we're sitting in solid with the crevasse counter at a solid 20.
20. That's awesome. This should be called, how many times can you say, are you a crevasse? That's what this one should have been titled.
Are you a crevasse? That the answer to that would be yes.
Yes.
Now,
A resounding yes.
Now, Paul, thank you. That was wild. That was a crazy
It
one.
was. It was.
That was wild, but we're not done.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
No way.
No.
We said we'd do this twice. We will. So the next one, another Edward Packard book, Return to the Cave of Time. This is book 50.
Yep.
So this is marking the 50th book in the series. 50th book in the incredible record-breaking series.
Yeah.
How much would you pay?
Right? Oh, but wait. Now, this is a sequel to the original one, Cave of Time. Yes. Like book number 2 or 3.
Yes.
Or 12.
I just noticed this, Eddie. So in the first book, we fall over a cliff on a mammoth. Now this one, if you notice on the cover, we're falling over a waterfall on a raft.
Yes.
Dying.
Yes.
Plunging to our death.
Either way, we're dying.
Oh, man. What is it with us or people flying over cliffs and waterfalls and all sorts of things?
So, Return to the Cave of Time. Apparently, it was owned by someone with the last name McFarland at some point in time.
Oh, that.
So Cave of Time. Yeah, dude, the Cave of Time was book number 1.
I know. It's number 50.
49 books later.
1985. So,
Return to the Cave of Time. Go ahead.
We went through the Cave of Time back in August of 21, I believe. If you
my gosh,
go back, so it's been over a year. Let's see.
Feels like
Cave of Time. We released it on August 18th of 2021.
Wow.
So
time flies.
Now we're back
a year
in the Cave of Time. Time flies. All right.
Return.
So you want to start this one, Eddie?
I will.
The other one.
I will. Here we go. You're 9 years old in 1980 something.
85.
85. Your heart races as you make your way through Snake Canyon. Good old Snake Canyon. Looking for the entrance to the Cave of Time. Though it's a sunny summer day, you're wearing a warm sweater under your all-weather parka, as well as wool socks and pants. You don't know where you'll turn up once you've entered the cave, but you want to be ready for anything. So you're bringing a gun.
And a pocket knife.
Finally, Canyon's the new crevasse.
Canyon was the new crevasse.
Crevasse was so 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Should we do a new cave counter?
Okay.
Here we go. I got to change the name.
From crevasse to cave. But yeah, crevasse, canyon. We're upgrading.
All right, here we go. We're down to 1. We're back at it.
So this is cave, right?
This is anything mentioning cave.
Okay.
All right. Finally, you reach the familiar grove of pine trees, but your hope fades, as it does, as you realize that the landslides have covered the caves. Oh!
Ooh.
Man.
Already.
Right at the gate. Main entrance. Determined not to give up, you search the floor of the canyon. Is it canyon or cave? Let's just
cave.
Yeah. You search the canyon until you find, hidden behind clumps of sage, another barely passable entrance. Crawling on hands and knees, you enter a tunnel that, judging by its direction, should lead to the main chamber. The tunnel seems endless and keeps curving to one side. Hold on here. I lost my place. As if it might be going around in a circle. After a half hour of crawling, you feel a tightening of the muscles in your throat, the beginning of panic.
Uh-oh.
There's not enough room to turn around. You're not even sure if you can back out. Turn to page 3. There's a great illustration there.
We did not do good in canyon or cave crawling correspondence.
Painfully, we did not pass that correspondence course very well. Painfully, you crawl on, around a bend to the right and then one to the left. Somewhere up ahead, a voice is chanting, or is it many voices singing in unison? It's an eerie tune with only 3 or 4 notes, so it's a Green Day song.
That's awesome.
A moment later, you reach a dimly lighted chamber. A thin, ghost-like figure abruptly stops singing and looks at you intently. You can hardly find words, but as if to answer your question before you ask it, the strange man, if he is a man, says, "You have found the Oracle of Time." You are amazed to meet anyone in the cave, much less an oracle. For a moment, you are afraid, right?
Well, like usually I don't meet, when I meet oracles, I know when I see an oracle, but you may not be an oracle. Look, I'm an expert.
The only oracle I'm familiar with is the oracle from Neverending Story, and that thing tried to kill Atreyu. I remember.
There you go.
You have found an oracle. For a moment, you are afraid, but as you look more carefully at the oracle, you can't help but smile. His expression is kindly and wise, but there is also a playful, impish look in his eyes. Is the oracle Santa Claus? You realize he may be able to tell you some things you've wondered about. What is time, you ask? Man, Edward Packard.
Yeah, he gets meta real quick.
The oracle is silent for a moment, but then answers in a firm voice. Time is what keeps everything from happening at once. When did time start, you ask, and when will it end? Would you like to see? You gulp in amazement. Sure. What then? The beginning or the end? Here we go. This is a great choice. If you say you want to see the beginning of time, turn to page 11. If you say you want to see the end of time, turn to page 17.
Nice.
Nothing big here, just the beginning or end of time.
Don't see the beginning. Or what about the middle?
Right? We're in the middle.
We're in the middle. Okay.
In the middle.
But yeah, I remember in the first one, there's always an old man sitting in the cave.
Yeah, the old oracle.
The first book.
Wasn't it like in the first book, wasn't it like he made us choose left or right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of picking up on some of the tropes on this one, but I bet you a lot of these little side stories are ones that didn't make the cut for the first book. Yeah. I bet you.
We
beginning.
Got to the beginning.
Going to the beginning where it all started. So
going back 11. In time.
Back in time. Wasn't that that's on Bill and Ted's, wasn't it?
Wouldn't it be great if you can go back in time and just go to approach one singular person who you maybe have beef with or something, and just like walk up to them? They don't even know who you are, and you just slap them across the face, just whap, and then you just walk off. And it's like,
yeah, like that was on Groundhog Day where he just punches that guy.
Yep, for no reason.
Oh man, no reason at all. Marty McFly. Yep, Paul's right. It's Marty McFly.
There you go.
I'd like to see the beginning, you say, and instantly you find yourself floating, weightless, in the total black space. There are no stars or suns or moons or wisps of light, not a breath of air, no sound, no smell, no taste, no up nor down, no sideways, no motion, no feeling, nothing but silence. I feel like I was reading a Dr. Zeus book there for a little bit.
I was going to say.
I will not with a goat. I will not with
a...
Ooh. Then suddenly, there's a point of light so brilliant it feels like pins driven into your eyeballs. Even before you can
Ouch.
blink, the light expands like a million lightning bolts radiating in all directions. Your eyes shut, but the light is still painfully bright. As you move your hands to cover your eyes, you scream, but no sound comes.
Ooh.
At the same moment, darkness returns. Then very slowly, your eyes begin to adjust to the dim light of your surroundings, and you realize you're once again in the chamber of the oracle. Turn to page 6. You're shaken by your experience, but not eager to try something like that again. But you're more curious than ever about time. Tell me, you ask the oracle, did anything happen before time began? Could anything happen after time ends? Nothing can happen unless time is passing, the oracle answers. But things could happen in another time frame outside our time. Then another time would be passing. You think for a moment, then ask, could I ever visit another time frame where another time is passing? It's possible, the oracle replies. The cave of time has passageways that lead to such places, places where you perceive others as they will be in their future, while they perceive you as you were in your past. Whoa. Okay, yeah, it's like, which way am I going now?
What did we choose?
Huh? By now, your head is spinning. Yeah. I think right now I'd rather just stay in our own time frame, you say. Very well, says the oracle with a smile. Which shall it be, the future or the past? If you choose the future, turn to page 47. If you choose the past, turn to page 66. So, future or past? So I think he's talking about other timelines is what he's talking about, or multiverse maybe. It's kind of
a little multiverse.
Yeah.
I would do the like the going in the past. I try to play with the timeline a little bit, I think.
I would leave yourself little notes.
Exactly. Leave little notes, investment tips.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, like preload some revenge right out of just
Paul says beat me up. Go to the past.
Man, Paul is all about that backward time travel.
Yeah, he's all about going to the past. So page 66.
66.
Back to the past. Gotta get back. Samurai Jack. All right. Yeah, invest in Apple and Bitcoin. Exactly.
See, that's all I'm saying. Just play with the timeline a little bit.
If you're new to the video here, when we get to decision point, you can just type in the chat. But in the meantime, say hi in the chat if you're just checking us out.
You feel as if your mind has become detached from your body. That's the theme of 2020 again. That you are in transport through time. Then reality returns. You are in a cave close to the entrance. Looking out, you can see that you are on a mountainside. A vast landscape of plains and lakes and patches of forest stretches beneath you. There is no sign of human habitation. You have the feeling that you may be living thousands of years in the past, perhaps even before the appearance of human life. Ooh. In the distance, you notice dark moving specks, a herd of grazing animals, perhaps. Where there's life, there's food and hope for survival, you think. Suddenly, you sense a presence nearby. You whirl around and your eyes meet other eyes. It's a pile of eyeballs. No!
Pile of eyeballs. No!
They belong to a boy who looks older than you, even though he is several inches shorter. His wavy brown hair is shoulder length, and he is naked except for his crudely fashioned shorts made of animal skins. He is solidly built and strikingly muscular. Hey, listen, different times, man. Be nice.
Yeah, be nice.
His bushy eyebrows are set on bony ridges above his eyes, giving him a brutish look. Yet there's something sweet and friendly in his expression. Oh. Hello, you say. Is that Lark or Eark? I'm going to say Eark.
Eark.
Eark, the boy replies. He steps close and looks curiously at you. At that moment, you hear a deep-throated growl. In the dim light near the back of the cave, you can make out an animal of monstrous proportions, a gigantic cave bear, larger than any bear alive in your own time. Ooh. Terrified, you stand watching. The bear edges closer. The boy touches you. Narga. He pulls at your arm, then starts climbing the sheer wall of the cave, gaining handholds on rough niches in the rock. You watch him with amazement as he pulls himself up by his arms alone. That boy shredded.
He is.
A
He
moment
can do the
later,
one arm pull ups.
exactly. A moment later, he slips into a cleft in the rock, safely out of the reach of the bear. The bear follows the boy with his eyes, then turns toward you and lets out a roar that shakes your bones. You get the feeling that this is his cave and you better do something fast. If you try to follow Eark up the wall of the cave, turn to page 50. If you run out of the cave, turn to page 56.
Let's see.
To follow the cave boy or to run.
Let's see. So this one had cave in it once, twice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then in the options we had 2 more. So we had 4. Cave was mentioned 4 times on this page.
We are at a solid cave counter of 6 at the moment here.
Wow. Oh, wait, no. Another one, cave bear.
We are just
so back of the cave bear, sheer wall of the cave. Do we go up the wall of the cave or do we run out of the cave? So 5 just on this page alone.
Yeah, we're sitting at a cool, I believe it is 7. Yeah, we have 7 cave counter right now.
Man, follow him. So we're going to follow Eark.
Paul is invoking the oldies here, making me sing again. I will follow him. Follow Eark wherever he may go.
Or then he said, built like a brick house. She's a brick house.
He's a little cave boy, mighty, mighty. Letting this cave boy hang out. Oops.
All right, so that's page 50.
50.
50. You leap high against the cave wall, grab a handhold, dig the toe of your right foot into a tiny niche, and begin to climb. The bear is close behind you, breathing and snorting. You're able to climb a couple of feet higher, but the wall becomes even steeper above you. You desperately feel for a higher foothold. Suddenly, your wrist is seized in a vice-like grip, and you feel yourself rising, then being hauled onto the ledge. Only then does the powerful grip release your wrist. Aching and sore, you look into the smiling eyes of Eark, then back at the paws of the bear, raking the lip of the ledge, still trying to get at you. Ugh, says Eark. He starts crawling into a dark tunnel you follow, hoping it will lead you out into the open. Instead, it leads you into an abyss, and you're falling, clutching Lark's arm, tumbling through the cave of time.
We're back in the cave of time with our caveman friend now.
Our caveman friend in the cave of time. Page 93. Let's see here. Remember the old saying, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just need to be faster than the guy in front of me or guy behind me.
Faster than Eark.
Yes.
What was that page number?
93. Here we go. Suddenly you're waking as if from a dream. Once again, you're inside the entrance of a cave, and something, maybe it's the smell of the air or the temperature or the faint sound of an airplane above, tells you you're back in your own time. But maybe you never left. Maybe you were just asleep. Could it be that you were just dreaming? Ah, Kluga, says the voice you've heard before. It's Eark, walking toward you from the depths of the cave, a big smile on his broad face. Eark, you're here? I can't believe it. You shake your head, wondering what you'll do with your friend from the past. There's only one thing you think of. Well, better come home with me. You're going to need a place to stay. And then we're going to start on the Encino Man script. Oh, wait.
Encino Man starts. That was a fun movie.
Page 22. Yeah, it is a fun movie.
We're hopping around, doing little hoppies.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing the hoppies as these other later books tend to do. The two of you follow the trail back toward Uncle Howard's ranch. And it's only a mile or so until you reach the road. You watch with amusement as Eark gasps at the sight of a trailer truck going by. You haven't seen anything yet, Eark. You're really going to like TV and computers and jet planes. Eark grins at you. Snow Ark. The end.
So look at that. We didn't die. We got a best friend caveman hanging out with us.
Exactly.
Nothing could go wrong with this setup whatsoever. You know,
We're going to change his name to Pauly Shore. Or wait, we're going to be Pauly Shore. He's going to be Brendan Frazier.
What did they name him on Encino Man?
Ooh, good question.
I don't remember that.
I'll have to look. I've watched it so many times.
Yeah. We'll have to add that in the chat trivia. If you guys remember the name, what he went by, or what they called him in Encino Man.
I can't remember.
I love the Cave of Time. It's probably the most fun one.
Link, because he was a link to the past.
That's what his name was. Yes.
Yeah, Link. So Link, Lark, or Yark, close.
It's close enough. I said
Edward Packard wrote the script or inspired Encino Man.
He really did. I mean, these books inspired a lot of people, I think, for all sorts of things. Really, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's a good book. This is one of the early books that I had when I was a kid. So I don't think it was the first, but it was right up there. It was a fun book. I
specifically had the Cave of Time, and then there was a UFO one too. But the Cave of Time was such a fun one.
It was.
And I forgot about the Return to Cave of Time too. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So we'll go through this one again next time, and we'll see what happens. This one was actually pretty good. You know, it we got a little meta there for a while, and found a caveman to take back with us.
We always seem to get a little bit meta every time.
Yeah, Edward does on some of these.
Just
always finds a way to get a little meta.
Like we said, we ended this adventure on the cave counter with a solid 7. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
So, not looking too bad there on that one. I will remind everybody that in 2 weeks, it'll be the day after Christmas. And we're going to be doing our second annual
Yes.
reading of the one and only Christmas Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Yeah. The only one we found. I mean, if you're listening to this later and you know another one, let us know. But I've only been able to find one.
I too have looked online, and as far as a branded Choose Your Own Adventure, not a competitor type book, there is only one Christmas themed adventure that we've come across so far.
Hey, maybe Paul. Yeah, thanks for being in the chat, everybody. Yeah. Paul and everybody else.
Thank you, Paul, and everyone. And like we said before, please like, share, follow. We're on all the social medias. We post some fun stuff up on there. And like I said before, if you'd like a sticker, just let us know on any of those forums. Follow us on Instagram and all those fun things.
Give our audience a hand here. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah,
seriously.
And stay tuned, because we'll be doing, like I said, our Christmas reading on December 26th.
Definitely check out past episodes. You can go to youchoosepodcast.com, listen to the old ones and check them out. But and then we'll post there also on our social medias when we do these. We try to do them every Thursday, but sometimes life gets in the way. But
every Monday night now.
Every Monday, Wednesday. Jeez,
we used to be Thursdays, then we were Sundays for a brief time. Now we're back to our Monday night slot.
We need to go back to the Cave of Time and fix all that. Anyway, all right. Listen. It's okay. It's all good. Well, thank you everybody for listening and participating. And until next time, you choose the adventure. All right.
Good night, everyone. See ya.